Hello, good evening and welcome to another program on Law and Order on a beautiful Friday evening. Each week it's a program where we take a topic on law and discuss in-depthly on that to give you the knowledge of law on that area. Now, in today's world, increasingly, whether we buy a house, we buy a car, or even personally, we have this habit of going to take what you call an insurance. It has come to such a big area and spread to all areas that I found as an entertainment lawyer that singers or people even insure their voices, and some people won't get on the stage to sing if the voice is not insured. But if you ask any person what is insurance, you might come up with answers like it's a form of a protection from financial losses in the event something unexpected could happen, or it could also be termed as a risk management primarily used to hedge against the risk of an uncertain loss. But all these are different kind of answers you might hear. But what exactly is the law relating to insurance? This is an area in law and order we have not touched before. So today, I thought we'll go deep into this with a specialist on the subject. My guest today, therefore, is the AGM Legal of Janashakti Insurance PLC, Ms. Nirosha Perera, attorney at law. Nirosha, thank you very much for taking time off your busy schedule and coming here. And how are you today?
I'm fine. And first of all, let me thank you for inviting me this program. And we'll see how it is going on.
Yes, we'll see. It was very difficult to get you and on this specialized subject. Okay, let me, like I said in my introduction, you can get all sorts of interpretation about what is insurance.
Yes.
But legally, if you look at it, what exactly is insurance?
As you explained, Chanakya, insurance, you are very correctly informed that insurance is a risk transfer mechanism. Legally also, it is a risk transfer mechanism. So we'll see how it is happen. As an individual, as a business entities, because you can't undertake whatever the risk you are facing throughout your lifetime. It's very difficult. So that's why the insurance mechanism is introduced in this world. So insurance is a way of transferring your risk to an insurance company. Of course, insurance company take a payment for that.
Yeah.
So insurance, in the insurance world, we call it that premium. So for a premium, you are transferring a risk. So I'll take an example, Chanakya. So suppose now what we do, everybody do in the morning, we hurriedly get up in the morning and we do our home stuff and we want to go to our working place. So for me, so I also do the same thing. I get up in the morning and do my home stuff, and I'm trying to go to my working place. So all our intention is to report to our working place on time. So what happens if I meet with an accident on my way to office? So that's not my expectation. I will never expect that type of a thing. But this could be happen. So what will happen after that? So my vehicle can get damaged and I may be suffering injuries. So those are the things, those are the risks day to day we are facing. So as an individual, I won't be able to expect that type of a risk, and I won't be able to bear that type of such damages to my vehicle, and I have to repair the vehicle, and I may be suffering injuries. So those things, if I have an insurance, it's easy for me to transfer my risk. This is called insurance.
Yes,
so it is not only the individual and the business entities transfer the risk. The similar way, insurance companies also, they transfer risk to their reinsurers. This is how the mechanism is going to be worked out. This is insurance.
Yeah. So, because a lot of people are not sure of this. Now, how old is this industry?
Actually, Chanakya, now before I talking about the current status of the insurance, I would like to touch briefly the history of the insurance industry in Sri Lanka. Insurance industry actually commenced with the intent of, with the introduction of tea and coffee industry to Sri Lankan market. So it was originally it was on the hands of the foreign insurance entities. There were no local insurance companies in the market, and it was only the local agencies who were maintaining their plantation. They were the primary entrance to the insurance industry, and they were also acting as a local agents for those foreign companies. And with the commencement of the Companies Act number 1938, so the doors were open for the local insurance companies. So it was the Ceylon Insurance Company was the first insurance company was established as a primary local company, and after that in 1960 insurance industry was nationalized, and as a result Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation was established. So thereafter it was only Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation had the authority to underwrite both life and general insurance business. So there was a government monopoly. So in 1980 another insurance state-owned insurance entity, namely National Insurance Corporation, it was established. So throughout 25 years it was the hands of the state-owned insurance companies. So after 25 years the doors were open to the private insurance companies. That's how the insurance companies, the history started in Sri Lanka.
Okay. Like you were about to say when you're answering that, the current status of the insurance industry of Sri Lanka.
Yes.
If I may ask you that. I know broad question, you can take your time. What is the current status of insurance
yes,
industry?
Chanakya. The current the insurance industry has become one of the most competitive industries in Sri Lanka today. So currently the insurance industry is governed by the Insurance Board of Sri Lanka in terms of the Regulation of Insurance Industry Act number 43 of 2000, which is coming under the Ministry of Finance. So at the moment there are 29 insurance companies in Sri Lanka. Up to 2015, Chanakya, Sri Lankan insurance companies had the powers to underwrite both general and life insurance businesses. But as per a regulatory requirement, in 2015, the regulator introduced a new law, and now the insurance companies can't underwrite both general and life insurance segments. It's only, as I told you, there are 29 companies in the markets. It's only 2 companies at the moment who underwrite both general and life insurance business, and 13 companies only are engaged in general insurance business, and another 12 companies are engaged in life insurance business. So when we talk about the insurance industry, it is not only the insurance companies. There are 3 main categories: insurance companies, insurance brokers, and insurance agents. Who are these insurance brokers and insurance agents? I briefly touch on that. And insurance brokers, they are acting as intermediaries on behalf of either it could be a policyholder or customer, or it could be the insurance companies. So both these categories, insurance brokers and insurance agents, they have to get registered under the Insurance Board of Sri Lanka. Chanakya, now if you want to act as an agent or a broker tomorrow, you can't do that, Chanakya. There are a lot of regulatories because insurance is public money. So everything, there are a lot of formalities, there are a lot of regulatories, you have to comply. So insurance agents also, they are one segment, they are helping the policyholders and the insurance companies in order to procure and secure the insurance business. This is how the insurance industry works out today.
Right. Now, you gave a succinct presentation of what the history and the current status.
Yes.
Before I go to ask what is the law, why was it necessary to break this insurance into 2 segments? You said 2 different companies, general and
life.
Why
Yes.
was it necessary?
It's like you mean the regulatory requirement?
Yeah, why did it happen recently, right?
Yes,
2015.
Chanakya,
Yeah.
because actually if you look at the world practices in the insurance industry,
Right.
it was most of the countries, they do only one segment of business. Either it could be general, it could be life. This is mainly due to the transparency. As I told you, insurance companies always deal with public money. So it is very important, it is very mandatory that we have to have the transparency. So that's why the regulator imposed this new law, and all the insurance companies have complied with that, except 2 entities, and they are also in the process of complying the situation.
Right. So now tell me the law relating to insurance. Most of us are not aware, the most probably. What is the law that governs the insurance industry in Sri Lanka?
As I told you, Chanakya, at the moment, insurance industry is governed by the Regulation of Insurance Industry Act number 43 of 2000.
Yeah.
And it was amended 2011. And and the insurance companies, it is very mandatory that insurance companies have to comply with those terms and conditions. Other than that, the regulator, they can impose time to time, they can impose laws as per the requirements, as per the necessity requirements of the policyholders in order to safeguard the policyholders' rights. Insurance regulation of insurance, the Insurance Board of Sri Lanka has the authority to impose new laws as well as the minister also.
Okay, now one of the things I ask you about why the companies had to divide into two. We'll go into what are the different types of insurance.
Yes.
Isn't it creating a problem for people to having to go to two different companies to buy two different insurance when they could have taken it in one?
No, it's why
legally? Why do you see? Isn't it okay to keep it in one company?
No, answering your question, Chanakya, it is the requirement of the companies to maintain their records separately, especially with regard to their financial accounts and everything to record separately. But that doesn't mean that the customer has to go to two different companies. Insurance companies are allowed by the regulator to transact the business in one house. In one house you can go to, and if you want to get a motor policy, as well as on the same day if you want to get a life insurance policy, you can get it done in the same house. But it is for the transaction purposes, it is for the recording purposes, the insurance companies have to run separately.
Right. Now tell me, what are the different types? Now in my introduction I was telling about type of insurance that are taken by people in the entertainment industry, especially abroad, maybe less here. But what are the types of insurance that are available in Sri Lanka?
Yeah, answering your question, Chanakya, insurance business mainly categorized into two sections. That is life. It's usually long-term policies and non-life. We call it as general insurance policies. These are the two main segments in the insurance business. If I explain about the life insurance policies, it's, as I told you, normally it's a long-term policy, and the word itself is related to human life. What the person has to do is, if you want to get a life insurance policy, you have to go to the insurance company. But this is all these things. First, you have to discuss with the insurance company, and the company also check about your health conditions and your age and your occupation. Based on that, company will decide how to issue the policy and what conditions they need to apply. This is called life insurance. And those days, like the primary days, Chanakya, life insurance only mainly involved with the human life and as well as the health plans. But because with the changes of our lifestyles and with our habits, so insurance products are also getting changed every day. Now, life insurance segment is not only related to human lives as well as your long-term health plans.
Right.
Now you can plan your retirement.
Yes.
You can plan your investments under life insurance policies. These are the new segments introduced to life insurance categories. So that is life insurance. And
so before you go to the other one, when you say life, you talk about people. I mentioned about people, artists, insuring their voices. Right, and if there are artists that if they go to other countries to perform, because the health and environmental climatic conditions, if they don't have a special insurance, they might not perform. These are big artists I'm talking. Like that, there are dancers internationally who insure their parts of the body, legs and arms, on different ways. Right? Is this type of insurance available in Sri Lanka?
No, actually, Chanakya, Sri Lankan insurance industry, especially when it's come to life segment, it is not improved as much as when you compare with the other parts of the world, and especially European countries. So they have this insurance.
Because there's no demand for that, is it?
Yes, actually there is no demand for that. So, and I have not experienced that, like voice insuring and like a part of the body is insured. It's not happening in Sri Lanka. So basically the when you talk about life insurance penetration is very low with compared to other countries in the world.
Why is that? People are unaware or what?
Yes, I will come to. I will lengthy discuss in my later. And mainly, it's not only the unawareness, because due to low income of the people also, In this country, taking a life insurance is not mandatory. But if you look at the other parts of the world, there are countries, you have to have a life insurance policy. You can't live without a life insurance policy. Here, of course, we are fortunate that we are getting all these medical, hospital covers, everything free of charge. But that is not so in the other part of the world. So if you do not have a life insurance policy, you won't be able to get any medical treatments. So that is also one of the reasons that life insurance penetration is not up to the standard with compared to other parts of the world.
As a lawyer, as well as being in the insurance industry for such long, as an insurance lawyer, don't you think such regulations, it's time to get such regulations? Because after all, these premiums are for a year. I mean, and most of the companies give the health insurance free of charge when you get a life, right? Am I correct? Or for a lesser premium?
Yes.
It's embedded in the same thing. So don't you think countries that have imposed the fact that life insurance should be mandatory, we should have something like that legally here?
If you ask that question, personally, I do agree with you.
You do agree, huh?
But Chanakya...
where will be the block?
Yes, block, as I told you, because if you look at our country standard, there are a lot of other things to come out. So the standard, living standard of the people has to be first. We have to give the priority and the attention. Putting aside money to buy a life insurance policy will not be the priority of most of the people in this country. So they will consider it certain additional expenses. There are other things that before getting a policy, there are other things to do. Of course, there will be a time for that, but we have to go more.
Right. Now, one of the things about, I know you want to talk about the other non-life insurance area, but before that, one of the things people might complain is that when you go to buy an insurance, the assessment of pre-existing conditions for health. How is the legal status on this in Sri Lanka? Because this is a big problem in America, and if you had known President Obama's time, he brought in a situation saying the assessment of pre-existing conditions is rather unfair in the insurance industry in America. But how is it in Sri Lanka?
It's like this, Chanakya. So at the beginning, I told you insurance is a risk transfer mechanism. Insurance companies also undertake the risk depending on the analyzation of the risk category. Because they are also spending public money, and to charge a premium, I call that insurance company will charge a premium for that. This premium is decided based on the risk elements they are going to undertake. So when you apply a life insurance policy, so I think it's fair enough for the insurance companies also to get to know about your health conditions. So if you are like, if the premium charge would be different from a person charge a premium if a person is having very perfect health condition. The premium could be different with compared to a person who is asking a policy with having lot of ailments. So to identify that, sometimes it is necessary for the policyholders to undergo a medical checkup. But it's not a very cumbersome process because insurance, as I told you, it's a very competitive business today. So the insurance companies also come out with various suggestions in order to minimize the hassle. So it is the prerequisite for life insurance policy. To obtain a life insurance policy, sometimes you have to undergo such type of medical test. Okay.
You're answering the different type of insurances. I interrupted you when you were about to go to non-life.
Yes.
So tell me about non-life.
Non-life we call as general insurance because that's more familiar. When I say general insurance, because these are the more familiar category in the Sri Lankan market. Because if you have a vehicle, whether you like it or not, Chanakya, you know that you have to have an insurance policy. That's a government requirement. Because of that, putting aside like life insurance policy, people tend to buy a motor insurance policy. So all these motor insurance policies, fire and burglary policies, and the marine and cargo policies, all these policies are other than life insurance policies. All the other categories are coming under general insurance policies. General insurance usually it's a 1 year policy. It's not like long-term policies. It's not like life insurance policies. These are short-term policies. So these are the segments which is coming under general insurance segments. As I told you, general insurance segments are also like like with our changes of habits and with our standard of livings, general insurance segment is also getting changed. So those days we have not come across the policies like directors and officers liability, professional indemnity liability. Now Chanakya, you and me, we are professionals. But that doesn't mean that throughout our lifetime we may do mistakes. But in some of the other parts of the world, it is mandated that professionals, they have to have a insurance policy in order to cover the professional negligence when they are working out professional negligence. Those policies are available in the Sri Lankan insurance market also today.
For which professions?
Any professionals. Any professionals in order to minimize, in order to cover their risk arising out of the negligence of their, when they are carrying out their duties, the policies are available, as well as for directors in the companies. Directors, they are carrying out a very the strong role in the company, and in order to minimize their risk, the policies are available in the market today. But these policies are not popular so much with compared to other part of the world.
Why is that? Now, until you told me, I didn't know that there was professional negligence insurance in Sri Lanka.
Yes. That is, Chanaka, as I told you, because some part of the world, it is mandatory. When you are working.
So don't you think it's time at least to make, you said that legally making mandatory about life insurance, it's kind of a no-no because people all don't have money to afford that. But professionals, probably the company is paying the premium, right? Generally, most of the countries, the company is paying the premium, it's built into your salary package. So don't you think at least that should be encouraged by the lawmakers?
That's a very good suggestion because it will be
an
advantage.
Have you all taken it up with the...
Yes, it will be an advantage for the insurance companies also.
Yeah, but have you all canvassed that or taken that to the insurance board or the regulator or the lawmakers?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Yeah, so far no. So far no, yes.
Right, after they watch this program, they might.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, now we are talking about the insurance and the law related, but the process of taking insurance. A lot of people get misled on this sometimes. Can you just run us through briefly, explanatory through?
Yes. I told you that it is not only the insurance companies. There are three main segments in the industry. Insurance companies, insurance brokers and the insurance agents. So directly, if you want to get an insurance company, insurance policy, you can directly step into the insurance company and you can explain whatever the requirements you have and you can get a policy from that company. But if you are a very if you are a person with lot of commitments and if you do not have time to step into an insurance company, by all means you can call to the insurance company and immediately insurance company will arrange a marketing person or an insurance agent to come to your doorstep and to enlighten you and to tell you what you have to do and can arrange an insurance policy. And the insurance companies also, it's not only based in one or two cities in the insurance companies also, they are having all over the country. Most of the companies, they are having their branch offices. So any part of Sri Lanka, you can obtain a policy when you go to an insurance company. And also, as I told you, you can speak to an agent. Agent will come and help you. And also, you can contact the broker to arrange an insurance policy. This is the mechanism that today's practice in order to get the insurance policies.
Right. Now, what would be, if somebody watching all this, listening to all this, was wonder again, or if I were to ask again, why should one take insurance? That there are mandatory areas like driving a vehicle, but for house, burglary, fire, why should one take insurance? Is your answer the same that you told me in the beginning? Or
no, it's like this, Chanaka. We'll forget about the insurance for a moment. So, can you remember the past, last year also, and as well as this year, the catastrophes we faced due to floods?
Yes.
Due to landslides?
Yes.
So, what happens? For a moment, individual or a business entity, you will lose everything. The earnings, the hard-working money, and whatever the things that you have earned throughout your lifetime, you will lose everything in a moment. So, as an individual, as a business entity, you won't be able to bear these financial losses. That's why the insurance is important, Chanakya. Insurance, even like not only general insurance, if you are having a life insurance policy, as I told you, This world is filled with lot of uncertainties. I'll give you one very good example, Chanakya. As a lawyer who works in an insurance company, day to day I'm handling accident cases. I'll give you an example. So one of the incidents, there was a lorry, and the lorry driver, he was driving the lorry, and he had a tire puncture. So then he stopped the vehicle and put aside the vehicle by the side of the road, and the driver was attending to the tire puncture. So you know what has happened? This was happening night. So there was another vehicle came on the same side, and at least that person didn't have time to think what has happened. He was run over by the vehicle, so he died on the spot. So these things, of course, we never expected. We never think that these things will be happening. So this is why the insurance is important. So even you are no longer there, your loved one, and the people who are depending on you. So if you have a life insurance policy, that policy covers the assurance. So that policy, depending on the policy, the policy will give you the financial support in order to overcome the barriers. So the life is filled with uncertainties. Insurance is that it helps you to come out with these financial losses. That is important.
Nirosha Perera, thank you very much for joining Law and Order, and so very insightful thoughts on insurance, and we wish you luck and success in whatever you do. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
That's Law and Order for you today. We'll join you next week at the same time with another edition of Law and Order. Join our Facebook chat on Facebook/Law and Order Channel I. That's Facebook/Law and Order Channel I. And you can post your comments and your queries and your questions you have on that. Enjoy the rest of the program on Channel I. Have a good night and have a good weekend.